What is up, guys? It's Cole here. Just worked out and getting my car washed, or not my car washed, car detailed, difference. And had a little bit of time to kill, so I wanted to hop on. I was wondering how I could use my time productively, and I was like, you know what? Haven't been live for a while, and I actually was just responding to, I won't say his name, but he runs a big sales team in the space, the info space, and they do really, really well. They're probably north of $300,000-$400,000 a month, and I was teaching his team, or I was clarifying to him over Messenger with his team how to handle financial objections. And this is something I get a lot of questions about. And I'll tell you what, I probably, because I still work really hands-on with all of my clients, and this is something I probably say 3 or 4 times a week. So I might as well just tell everybody in the group. It's something that I know makes a huge impact with businesses when I share it. And it's really how I do financial objections and how I collect maximum money up front. So what's up, guys? Glad you're hopping on here. What's going on, Charlie? So yeah, we're gonna cover how to handle financial objections. This is something that is one of the best things that I feel like I teach, or it's up there for sure. So the glare is so bad here in Arizona, I can barely even see my face. So anyways, financial objections. So the big key is really how you actually lead into the close, okay? So what I want you guys to start doing is when you drop the price, you really should be saying, mine is so simple. I used to do this languaging where I'd chunk up and chunk down and do all these associations. And you know what? The more kind of B2B, more sophisticated buyers I start to deal with, I just kind of drop a lot of that shit. And so what I just say is, look, the investment, we'll just do a 10K program just because that's standard and easy. So I'll say the investment is just 10K. And then I'll shut up. Okay? So the investment's just 10K. And then, so you use silence. And also a little quick tip here. Here we go, I can actually see a little bit better. Another quick tip here is that as you're leading into the investment, you should be doing things like a temperature check and creating a lot of dialogue. So I do this very intentionally. I slow the pace down of everything before I lead into the close, okay? That's really important, because what a lot of people do is they do these, I call this type of pitch an anvil drop, right? It's like they do no tie downs, they take no breaks, and then so what they do is they give all of this information all at once, and then they give the investment, and then they shut up, because that's what they read in the sales books, right? And then it throws the prospect off, and the prospect's like, are you still there? Just because they got done talking and doing this anvil drop pitch for 3 or 4 minutes, and then they just stop talking, right? So I slow that down, I give the investment, I say, hey, the investment's just 10K. And then if you do it right, they'll say, a lot of times, almost every single time, they'll say, okay, well, and is that all up front, or do you do payment plans, or how does it work? And so to that, what you say is, well, it depends. A lot of clients do it up front. For certain clients, depending on their financial situation, we break it up. So if that's something you would need, you would just have to let me know. And a lot of them will say, well, obviously it's 10K. I'm only making 5K a month right now. If there's any way you can help with that, I would definitely need that. No problem. Before we even get into that, because that's a whole different discussion, let me ask you the most important question. Finances and everything aside, is there anything else that's keeping you from being less than 100% certain that you feel like this process and those 4 things that we covered earlier is exactly what you need to be able to get to $20,000 to $30,000 a month in your business, and you also feel like now's the right time? Okay, so I'll say that again. Finances and everything aside, let me ask you the most important question. Finances and everything aside, is there anything else that's keeping you from being less than 100% certain that you feel like the process, those 4 things that we covered, is what you need to be able to get to insert outcome, okay? And a lot of times, if there's an objection, you'll get that there, right? Because we want to weed out the uncertainty-based objections before we handle the financial-based objections, okay? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually force them to give me an objection before I give them any payment plans. You want to use your payment plans as negotiating leverage, okay? This is huge. So the higher B2B and sophisticated you get, it's less about objections and more about trading and negotiating at the close. And that's how, if you really want to, you can close anybody you want. It's just more of how far you're willing to negotiate. So anyways, Is there anything else that's keeping you from being less than 100% certain that you feel like the process, those things that we covered, is what you need to get to outcome? And then, this is really key, they're gonna say, oh no, I feel like it's what I need. Great. So if I'm hearing you correctly, finances aside, you're 100% in, okay? That is the killer. That's like the best thing I can tell. Because 100% in is very like absolute language. So it's forcing them to, like, I want them to tell me no. I hope you guys realize that. And it might be like counterintuitive, but like it doesn't, if I try to close them with payment plans or all this other stuff, it's not going to work if they're not bought in on the process, if they're not tied down that this is the right thing, now's the right time. Make sense? So I'm very trying to like force them to tell me what their uncertainty is. But if they tell me no, I'm 100% in finances aside, I say great. So like I was saying earlier, anything we do in terms of payment plans is all customized, and I'm happy to talk about that with you. But before we get into that, like I just want you to know, something just fell on me. Everything's all customized. So are you open to getting everything on the table and having an open and honest conversation about where you're at financially, so we can figure out if there's a pathway for us to help you right now in terms of breaking it up, or at the very least, we can create a game plan for you to be able to work towards in the future, okay? So what I did there is just got permission. Are you open to having an honest conversation financially, giving everything out on the table, so we can figure out if there's a path for us to help you now? At the very least, we can create a game plan for you to be able to work towards in the future, okay? And that's just something I made up after doing thousands of calls, but the reason that works so well is, so we did 2 tie downs. We did tie down number 1, tie down number 2. Now we're getting permission to have an open and honest conversation about where they're at financially, getting everything out on the table to see if we can help you, and if so, exactly how that's going to work. And what I say there is I'm getting permission, and I'm saying, you know, to see if there's a path for us to help you now, or at the very least, we can create a game plan for us to be able to work towards in the future, okay? So this is really key, because I'm trying to diffuse the sales pressure of like if you tell me how much money you have, I'm gonna try to close you. I'm saying, look, like we can create a game plan for you to be able to work towards this in the future, which a lot of people, like, that's what they want if they're kind of gonna be in like this fear mode. So, I mean, 100% of the time, they're always gonna say, oh yeah, I'm willing to have an open and honest conversation. And then you just gotta be bold and go for it. Great. So what's your cash on hand exactly right now? And then a lot of times, guys, well, so when I ask it, I'm so certain that they're just gonna give it to me every time. But, you know, when I first started doing this and I was testing this, like sometimes they'll tell you a story, or they'll be like, well, you know, like I said, like, you know, finances aren't that great right now. It's kind of tight, a little bit month to month. And like, don't let the stories throw you off, okay? And I know this might sound a little bit direct, but it works. If they tell you a story, say, gotcha, totally understand, and I just want to really acknowledge you and appreciate you for sharing that with me. Now, I'm not sure if you said it or not, but what is your cash on hand exactly right now? And so if they didn't get the point there, like, now they're going to get the point, and they're going to tell you what we're looking for is how much money's in their bank account, okay? And so they're going to tell me a number, and I'm going to usually say, depending on what the number is, because sometimes they'll say like $500. And you want to be really clear. You want to say, look, I'm totally open to this being something to where we can't do right now. We got to create a game plan for you to be able to work towards this in the future. I just want to be really clear with you. I'm not asking how much you can spend. I'm asking how much you actually have access to. So right now, are you saying like we have a $500, you know, cash net worth, or like what is your cash on hand exactly? Is that checking or is that savings? Is that business or is that personal? Okay, so this is really, really key, guys. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm like across from this place where I'm getting my car detailed right now. But so I want all of their cash on hand. Then I'll probably transition, depending on if they tell me they got like 70K cash on hand, totally different story, right? But if they say, you know, something that's very marginal, depending on what I can do or what they can do, I'll say, and look, so I appreciate you being honest with me about your cash. And look, we might be able to do something with that, we might not, but sometimes it makes a lot of sense to keep the cash that we have, keep that as a war chest. That gives us a sense of financial security and comfort. and leverage credit to take advantage of an opportunity that we would otherwise not have access to. So in terms of credit, where are you at exactly with that? What lines do you have and what access do you have with those lines? Okay, now, and then you go through that, how many cards do you have? Is that the limit? What's outstanding on the limit? How much do you owe versus how much is available? I want all the information. Now, when I have that information, really at that point, I'll either close them or not. Like, if they can do it, I'm gonna basically enroll that person. If not, then like that's totally fine. I can get off the call knowing that it wasn't like this financial smokescreen, like they legitimately don't have the money and they need to go save up and be in my Facebook group until they can actually do this, okay? So, let's just say they have enough cash on hand to do it, all right? So after you get all their monetary information, what you wanna say is, gotcha. And so, and just to be clear, are you sure you really wanna do this? All right, that's key. Because you want them to tell you, yes, they wanna do it, before you close them, okay? So they're gonna say, oh no, yeah, I really wanna do it. It's like, great. So look, I don't think the best thing for you is to invest all of the money you have right now and literally clear out your bank account in full to be able to do this. I also don't think the best thing for you is to do nothing. See, here's the thing. Making decisions in business is all about maximizing your upside, minimizing your downside. That's not just coming from me. If you look at all of the greatest investors in the world, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn, they all make decisions that way, okay? Maximizing upside, minimizing downside. So here's the thing. If you come in and do what we tell you to do, upside, everything I told you on this call is true. You get the amount of clients you need, 5 clients a month at 10K, you're doing $50,000 a month, $600,000 a year, and you can continue to do that for the rest of your career. That's the upside. Downside, and it's what? 2 clients to break even? That's it? So because of that, what I'd be willing to do for you is let you in for half, so 5K. That allows you to come in, build out your offer, build out the acquisition system that'll get you the lead flow, get the sales training you need to enroll that lead flow into clients, and then that way, when that second payment comes around 30 days down the road, that's just simply an afterthought. So, if I'm willing to do that for you, is that something you're willing to move forward with right now? And so, I'm telling you guys, I can't even believe I'm giving you this, but those are where I've done several $1 million with those words exactly, including, like, I guarantee somebody will comment on this and be like, oh yeah, Cole, close me with that. Because like, I literally have said that, including the whole Warren Buffett part, like I've literally said that, I'm not kidding guys, probably 1,000 times. You could probably tell by the way I was able to like riff it off so fast. But I'm telling you, that works so well. And it all started with, are you sure you want to do this? And they're like, yeah. It's like, and then I basically, where did I go from there? I said, I love this language pattern. What did Ben say? Oh, haven't you sold? Ben's always trolling me, guys. Ben McClellan. Anyways, what did I say? Are you sure you want to do this? And then I love this language pattern. I say, I don't think the best thing for you is to clear out your entire bank, like, because a lot of times if you're doing that whole language pattern was a close on a 2-pay. How much more powerful was that than saying, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do a 2-pay. I'm not saying you can't do that. Like, I've closed people just by saying, all right, you want to break it into 2? But saying it like I said it 100 times better. So I'll say, I don't think the best thing for you is to clear out your bank account and just do all of this, like, clear out your bank account and go to 0 just to do this right now. I also don't think the best thing for you is to do nothing. I love that language pattern. So because of that, and then I basically edified, like the frame in which I'm doing here. So like I'm proving everything I'm going to be saying to be true by like bringing up Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, and Carl Icahn, who are like, everybody knows who those guys are, and they're like really, really rich people. So I'm bringing them up to prove what I'm about to say to be true and build credibility about maximizing upside, minimizing downside. Now, when you do that, you're kind of framing it in like the worst case scenario, they still break even. So I'm trying to like eliminate all the risk. So I basically chunk up and I say, Upside is, you know, what I say, $50,000 a month, $600,000 a year, yada, yada, yada. Downside is it's what? 2 clients to be able to break even. That's it. So because of that, so that's reason why sales, right? It's like I'm providing reasons, and that's the reason why I'm doing the payment plan. Because of that, I'll let you in for half. That way, you can build out your offer, your acquisition system, get the sales training you need. So future pace, so that come 30 days down the road, when the second payment comes around, that payment is simply an afterthought. Let me know if that makes sense. So there's a lot of future pacing there, and man, I've closed so many people with that, guys. So that's my gift today. I didn't have time to plan out content. I was just at the car detail place getting the old Tesla worked on, and I was like, man, I should do a Facebook Live right now. And I just wanted to give you, I was like, what's the most valuable thing I could do? Well, there you go. So let me see if you guys had questions. A lot of people seem to like this. Abhi said, I can't believe you're giving this to us. Yeah, I literally on the way over here, I was like, I wonder if there's another one I can do that won't give them like my best shit. I have a ton of other stuff. Like we have stuff for this for like every objection. And you know, it's usually more about what you do before the call. Before the close than at the close. But, you know, a lot of times I teach clients this, and like, I'm like, dude, just do this and you'll ROI from the program. So somebody says sexiest closer alive. I would agree. Cool. Glad you guys enjoyed this. I'll end with this. One of the most important things about the framework I just did is that I tied them down on the process, that this is the right thing, now's the right time, before I handled any other objection, right? So there's 3 objections. There's uncertainty-based, spouse-based, and financial, okay? And that's just how I think about it. You know, there's no mental models or absolute or true. There's only just mental models that help you think better about the world. So nothing is absolute or true, but the way I think about it, at least, there's 3 objections. Support-based, which is partner, spouse. There's financial, and which is what we just covered, essentially. And there is uncertainty, which is like everything else. Uncertainty-based is I need to think about it. That's a classic. I need to talk to your clients. I need to do some research. I need to do some due diligence. I need to make sure that you can do what you say. I just found out about you. All that stuff, right? Those are the hardest ones to handle. Ideally, you can eliminate those before the close. But if you get them at the close, you need to understand that like you should never give payment plans, you should never give terms, you should never handle spouse or partner objections until you've tied down on the certainty and we squeezed out any ounce of uncertainty that this is the right thing, now's the right time. So my objection handling framework, I need a name for it because it's like very systematic and it's just very well thought out, and it's about as close as an if-then thing that you can get. But it's all about eliminating the uncertainty first before we go into partner, spouse, or finances. So we want to cover uncertainty. Then if there's partner or spouse, we want to cover that. Then finally, finances is the last thing we're going to cover because we're negotiating terms, and that's where we're going to close. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. That's a great way to think about it. It took me a long time to figure that stuff out. Long time, a lot of calls. All right, gonna pick up the car. Let me know what you guys think of this. Make a comment or something. See ya.